Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the Surface laptop. I've been using it for almost a year, regularly, almost every single day, and along with this, and I normally use a MacBook as well, I think this is a really great computer. This is really meant for work or school work, and it's been bumped around a few times and it's held up really well. I love the design of it. A lot of people compliment me on it and ask what it is or ask how much it is, or they think it's a MacBook sometimes. They're not really sure, but this has held up really well. You'll see there's no scrapes on it or anything. That's a pen mark that I could just erase. I just haven't yet. And it's held up well. It will show some kind of fingerprints after a while. Just wipe it off. It'll come right off. It's held up well as far as the Alcantara is concerned as well. So a lot of people were concerned that this was going to get all oily or dirty, and it's held up great. There's no problems whatsoever. After a year of use, if you had any stains, you can just wipe them off with a damp cloth, and they seem to just come right off. So the durability is quite good, and the keys, I haven't had any problems with those, and this is probably one of the best keyboards on the market on a laptop. The keys have great travel, great amount of feedback, and you can type on it no problem. They've got great spacing, they're a good size, and there's no complaints for me whatsoever when it comes to the keys. As far as the trackpad is concerned, this is probably only second, in my opinion, to a MacBook trackpad. It tracks very similarly, but the only difference is it clicks down at the bottom here. So it's glass and it clicks here. It doesn't click everywhere. And that's not really a problem for most people, but it's got a good size to it. It's very responsive, and it's what you would expect from a premium laptop. Now, the overall speed of this is pretty good. I think the speed for a Core i5, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a solid state drive, which is what this is, does what you would expect. You can do some light gaming on it, maybe some Minecraft, things like that, but you can also do a lot of work on it. So you're using Word, Outlook, any of those things, you're not going to have a problem whatsoever. If you're going to open a web browser here, they seem to work just fine without a problem, and you'll be able to use it however you want. And then the touchscreen is something that I find I use sometimes, usually to zoom in, if I'm zooming into something, or I want to scroll. Otherwise, I don't really use it. And if you want to use a pen with this, you can, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I would recommend you get a Surface Book or a Surface Pro, because to have this kind of at this angle, this is as wide as it goes, you're going to run into an awkward position drawing on it. So I would suggest if you're going to draw regularly or maybe take notes with it, you would want to look at the Surface Pro or the Surface Book. It hasn't really slowed down too much either using it. I do find that I have to reboot it about once every week or so. It may get a little bit slow. That's not too much of a problem though. It's very fast, and you can log in with Windows Hello with this, which is great. And I have to say, it's definitely a pleasure to use. I do use it tethered to a monitor through the Surface port here, where you can connect a display or a hub that goes to a display. I think one of the main problems, if there are any, is it has a lack of ports, and you'll see we pretty much just have two, unless you have the extender like I have for the monitor. So you have one USB, your display port, and a headphone jack, which is good for most things. And then you can extend it here, and you can extend it through USB-C as well now with an adapter that you have to buy that's very expensive and bulky. Battery for me is really good. I easily get a day out of it, no problem. Sometimes it might be a little bit less, but most of the time you could watch video on it, do some work, and it's going to last throughout the day without any problem. The speakers on it have held up well. They sound good. They're under the keyboard. They kind of project through it, and those work well also. And I have no complaints whatsoever, really, with this laptop in general. Maybe the $1,300 price tag is the one complaint. Other than that, it's a solid built piece of equipment. And I would definitely recommend picking one up, seeing if they update them this year. I'm not sure as far as specs go, but I could definitely recommend this to anyone looking for a decent, well-built laptop for school or for college if you need something that runs Windows. I wouldn't necessarily get this configuration if you're going to run something like CAD. You may want a little bit more power, a Core i7, for example, with some more RAM and some more storage, but you also have that Surface Book with the dedicated graphics card for that. So maybe I would go that route if you were going to get one of these. That's all I really have to say after using it for a year. I would still recommend it. I do recommend it still to people, and I think it's a great machine. Let me know your thoughts about it, though, in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.